This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Going balls out in the lumberyard.
Watching the Grunion Pro Magi. If you're listening to this, don't even waste your time.
Hello and welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. This is episode number 206. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
We're also joined by Ryan Holes. How are you doing?
Same shit, different day.
There we go.
Classic.
What movie do we have you watch this week?
The second Jungle Book. Mowgli and Baloo.
There it is. Here's the full title. The Second Jungle Book, Mowgli and Baloo. This is from 1997. This is, I think it's a sequel of sorts to the first live-action Jungle Book that came out in, was it 94? The first one came out? The one with Jason Scott Lee. I don't know if there's any actual ties, though, so it might just be a completely separate thing.
It's a spiritual sequel.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's the Everybody Wants Some of the Jungle Book series, except nobody wanted it. I have a synopsis here. Preteen jungle boy Mowgli gets to human world and is pursued by P.T. Barnum circus scout Harrison, who wants to take him to circus as curiosity. Harrison hires local Grandee Buldio for help in tracking Mowgli down. It turns out to be that Mowgli is Buldio's nephew and the only obstacle for him to take his late brother's rich estate. That is written by Anonymous on IMDb. Fantastic synopsis. I think that it's going to aid. It's just going to be a good companion piece to this movie in general.
Yeah, because I completely have a firm grasp on everything that's going on.
I think it sets the stage for this whole movie. The quality.
It's a hell of a prologue.
This is directed by D. McLachlan. However, he was credited as Duncan McLachlan.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Transgender. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Duncan is now D. Stars a bunch of people who I'm actually not familiar with. No one huge. No big names in this.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, looks like Billy Campbell's in it.
Shaping up to be a good one, it sounds like.
Billy Campbell's probably the biggest name, I would say. Just perusing through the list here. So Ryan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the second Jungle Book, Mowgli and Baloo?
Mowgli's dad gets killed. Well, you don't see him get killed, they just get told that he's dead. And he was killed in the jungle. And his son was around him, so son was then raised by jungle animals, including bear, panthers, wolves, other various man-eating animals. So this guy, the circus, I don't know what you would call him, the scout, I guess, is on this train with all these other people, and somehow this kid hears the train coming on the train tracks, and it just stops in the train tracks, and is almost run over, but somehow the train applies the brakes, and it instantly stops on a dime. And because apparently there's no laws of friction in this particular movie. So this train stops. They try to capture this kid, and he ends up running away. So they go after him, and they eventually meet what would be his uncle. And he tells the scout town scout that he's this kid's uncle and he would inherit everything from him because he has a big plantation apparently a lot of money. But what you're not told is that the guy doesn't want that time, and he just wants to kill the kid.
Damn.
So they seek out this kid. Eventually, they find him, and he's in a temple. But the only way out is through the roof. Cause like that, it's like an ancient temple, and it's kinda hard to open the front door. So this kid's in the pit with vipers, and apparently the vipers talk to each other and tell each other this kid's cool, even though I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain this. That the vipers don't go after the kid, but like try to bite him, but they still go at him, like snap at him.
Oh, so they try to scare him?
For whatever reason. Huh?
Try to scare him, maybe?
I assume, but I don't know why.
Or maybe they're just putting out some feelers. They're just trying to get a feel for this kid. And then they
So
deduce that it's pretty cool.
This serious guy comes to fish this kid out, throws the rod down, and the uncle ends up smacking him in the face with a gun. And they get in a knife fight, but each knife is like, it's like a fucking butter knife. And the uncle runs away scared and hides in a cannon because all the animals are after him. So eventually, the snake charmer gets another snake to lure itself into this pit and wrap itself around this kid and then pull the kid back up. And all while this is happening, the bear, the panther, and the wolf, and the tiger, apparently none of them have any interest in eating any human being. So you're supposed to assume they talk and help get the kid out. And then everyone lives happily ever after. The uncle.
Wait, what happens to the uncle?
You don't see.
He's hiding in a cannon? He's the one who's hiding in a
cannon.
cannon?
He's hiding and he gets chased by animals, but you don't actually see. I assume you're supposed to guess that he got killed, but you don't actually see it.
Okay.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. So what did you think about this movie?
Ridiculous.
In a good way?
First of all, this movie, I think anyway, it's animated for a reason. It's animated because when the animals talk, they they can talk because it's a cartoon. When this misses is dead silent throughout the movie.
Well, that was my next question. So the animals in this, do they talk or not?
No.
Okay, so there's no talking.
They communicate silently, I guess.
Ooh, telepathy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I can't remember the 1994 one. I don't think they talked in that either. The one with Jason Scott Lee. I don't think they talked in that one. I remember liking that one as a kid. But
I don't think I ever saw it.
you probably saw it as a kid.
How do you know?
Because I think everybody saw it. I think it was
How
like
do you know?
it was like a prerequisite to childhood back in the 90s.
No, the animated one, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the animated one, but I never saw the.
Oh shit! You see that?
You both saw it and you just forgot because it was that inconsequential.
You just know our histories now, huh?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. So comparing this, I guess if you don't remember seeing the 1994 Jungle Book, where does this compare with the original Disney animated Jungle Book.
Like I said, it's crap.
Mm.
I would much rather watch the animated one because at least everyone's not dead silent. You kind of know what's happening rather than animals like fake talking to each other and to other human beings.
Do you think that would have made it better if they did some like CGI bullshit? Even if they did it terribly, if they had like the actual real animals talk, do you think that would have
No,
helped?
because the
Probably would have made it worse.
the talking goes along with the animation in my head.
Gotcha.
Like, like Aladdin. I want to see a live action Aladdin just because, like the cartoon, you can draw the genie, but in real life, the genie would be computer animated and it would probably look awful.
So I guess this kind of leads to a larger problem in your eyes with Disney making live action versions of a lot of their animated classics. We have Cinderella and Alice in Wonderland and some of the other ones that are escaping me.
Snow White.
Oh yeah, what was the one? Maleficent.
They're okay. Some of them are okay, but not in a movie where you have 4 of the 5 main characters are animals and they're just silent.
Yeah, 101 Dalmatians too. Can't forget about that one. That was one of the early live action ones that they adapted.
Oh yeah.
That one actually worked though, at least for me, if I'm remembering it correctly.
You're probably
it worked.
not.
Probably not. Yeah, you're right. Probably not. But I remember the animals didn't talk in that one either, and it was just the dogs going on their adventure.
Yeah, but they're dogs. You know what I mean? Like if you don't have a dog talk, it's still a dog.
Right.
And you're like, damn, I love dogs. But if you have vipers and vipers aren't talking, you're like, it's just a fucking
It's
viper.
just a snake laying there in the corner.
Who gives a fuck about a snake? I don't give a shit about snakes.
That's true. And I think that the big thing with the Jungle Book is the characters, like King Louie and Baloo, and they were all such colorful characters. And
yeah, because the actual kid in the Jungle Book, I mean, he's all right. Like all the other animals are they're the characters, they're the fun ones.
Right.
So
yeah.
Take that out of the equation. You just
Mowgli's like the springboard. He's just the guy who all these other great characters are just bouncing off of.
Yeah. So you take out all the interesting characters and just like, we're just going to focus on the one that has no personality.
Yeah.
Outside of climbing.
And like, it's very unbelievable to think of a live action human being being raised in the jungle by animals. He can't talk. What the fuck's he eating?
What's he eating?
I'm just way more comfortable with that big cartoon.
No, yeah, I think he
Ryan doesn't want to have to think about the logistics.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he does have a really good point there, because when you make something live action, there are all those added things, all those added logistics things that you have to take into consideration. When it's a cartoon, it's easy to just be like, "Oh, it's an animated kids movie." Of course, it's okay that the animals are talking and this child is living amongst these predators that in real life would probably just rip him to shreds in 2 seconds.
So Ryan can't get across that initial hurdle.
Yeah, you have to cross that threshold, that leap of faith when it comes to accepting that this is a thing.
So you're already watching the whole thing from essentially the wrong point of view, because you're not buying into the main tenet of the film.
Well, plus if they're not talking, if the animals are not talking, that adds to the realism of it. So that pulls it even further out of the whole fantasy realm,
Plus,
which
you just
which probably
you just
makes
got
it even
vipers.
more difficult to accept it.
You just got vipers just sitting there.
Yeah, just piles of
that's-
vipers.
That's not interesting. Do the vipers do anything interesting?
They snap at Mowgli. That's
It's
about it.
snapping.
I mean, how's Baloo? Because the second Jungle Book's called Mowgli and Baloo. He has second billing here. Is he one of the main characters?
I guess, I guess you could say that. There's the bear, the tiger, the panther, the anaconda, and monkeys. And they're all equally important, I guess.
Well, then why isn't it like Mowgli and the other animals? Or
Oh, and the wolf.
Oh yeah, wolf in there.
but Baloo doesn't do anything more than the other animals.
I don't know, he might like be a little tougher in certain circumstances. But no, he doesn't really do anything if the other ones don't.
Okay, so it's like as far as the narrative goes, Baloo doesn't play a larger part than the
No.
tiger.
No. In
Okay.
fact, the tiger plays a huge part. So does the panther.
Interesting. So I don't know why they would call it Mowgli and Baloo then, if Baloo clearly didn't have
So,
a more important part than anyone
Yeah,
else.
like, well, no, that's the tiger.
I mean, I
Oh.
know, like, they're supposed to be like BFFs, right?
Yeah.
In the regular Jungle Book
so
cartoon movie, but
they have like an actual bear playing Baloo.
Yeah.
Now is this bear jovial and fun and just having a good time? Like
loving life.
No, he's angry and grumpy all the time.
This says so they made it a darker Baloo. Is what they did.
I guess.
Does he have a plane at all? Do we get into some tailspin action?
Ooh, tailspin.
Oh,
I can't wish I saw a chipmunk now. That'd be awesome. They used to be on our fair shows when I was a little kid.
Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
Nice.
side note, I just want to throw out there that I don't know if you know this, but all of Animaniacs is on Netflix now.
Ooh,
Just if you want to get into some Animaniacs action.
I could watch some Pinky and the Brain.
Hell yeah. So
Interesting.
should we just talk about Tailspin and Rescue Rangers
Yeah,
from here?
let's talk about '90s cartoons instead of this movie.
And all the animals, like when they're in a shot with a human being, you can obviously tell that they're not really both there. They're two different videos.
So it was like composited stuff, of course.
Mm.
I mean, at least they didn't try to do animation or something like CG, because it probably wouldn't have worked back in 1997.
They put like when the for instance, when the bear and the human are together, you can tell that they're not. You can tell the bear is CGI'd into the shot.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess, for the time. I mean, you're using wild animals, but again, it's like maybe you shouldn't make it. If you can't make it look good, then maybe it shouldn't exist at all.
Yeah, like, come on.
Maybe
You're gonna make a movie with a kid and wild animals.
Book,
Yeah, get some wild animals in there.
maybe the real life where all 12 of them shouldn't exist.
Well, I also think it's interesting that this is the sequel to the 94 live action one. And in the 94 one, Jason Scott Lee plays Mowgli and he's like 35 years old. And then in this one, he's a little kid. So I guess this is a prequel of some kind.
Must be.
According to Box Office Mojo, this made $346,056 at the box office.
Damn. Nice haul.
Bringing in the cheddar.
Now you understand why they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
You get the
This
money
was
maker.
a rousing success.
It is a goddamn moneymaker.
It was only in 101 theaters, so that was definitely a pretty slow rollout. And it looks like it was only in theaters for 3 weekends before it was gone. That's a shame. On Rotten Tomatoes, there's only one. So there are 3 total reviews counted, and all 3 of them are rotten. One of which is from Roger Ebert. He writes, "It's not easy to get a movie made, and even harder to make one for young audiences. If you're going to the effort, why not make a smart one?" That was his review. Another one just says, "Rent the first one again." And then the third one is nothing. It's just rotten. It's just a rotten symbol.
They couldn't even be bothered.
I clicked on. There's several other ones that are listed that don't have like the scores or the little blurbs. So I clicked on a couple of them, and several of them are actually for the Jungle Book 2, which was the home video animated one from Disney. So they're not even linked correctly in this movie. Terrible. Just terrible. We can go ahead and talk about the director, Dee McLachlan. Let me take a look and see what she's done. It looks like she has a new movie called Scarlet that's been announced. It's not out yet. A movie called 10 Terrorists. That's all one word. So it's just 10 Terrorists. Not sure what that's about. Everest, The Promise, The Jammed, Running Wild, Deadly Chase, The 00 Kid, and Scavengers.
Well, all you need to know about 10 Terrorists is it's a shocking, awesome comedy.
I want to see The 00 Kid. It's with Corey Haim, and he plays a teenager secret agent, and he's a hacker. I've often wanted to watch that one just because it looks amazing. That's the only one that she's done that I've actually heard of. Yeah, Running Wild was with Brooke Shields.
I haven't heard of any of these.
Well, you might want to check out The 00 Kid.
Well, that's a pretty badass cover.
Yeah, that should be enough for you to want to seek that one out.
Got Wallace Shawn. Kidding me? Karen Black? Wow.
Let's see what this Scarlet movie's all about. This has been announced. Not sure what the production status is. A newly married detective and his pregnant wife move into their dream home, unaware of its dark history.
Oh, shit.
So it's a horror movie, from the looks of it. It's an Australian horror film. All right.
Sure. Sure.
That's pretty much it for Dee McLachlan. Any final thoughts on the second Jungle Book before you give your score on this, Ryan?
If you're stupid enough to watch this, then I don't even know. Don't do it.
How was Billy Campbell? How was the Rocketeer?
It's funny you say that because I don't remember him.
You wouldn't label him memorable.
He played Harrison.
I wonder if that's the
I think that was the scout, wasn't it?
Carnival or the circus guy. Yeah, I think that was him. He wasn't notable at all.
That's not good.
He did nothing but try to hit on women and be funny, but it was actually stupid. And he tried to save a kid, and then he got in a fight with a butter knife. And that was it.
Just the butter knife? It's just him fighting with the butter knife.
The blades on the knives were probably the one really did look like a butter knife.
Nice.
The other one looked like a pretty intense knife, but again, the blade was only like 4 inches long, and they had a fucking sword fight.
Okay.
Sword fight with butter knives. All right. That sounds kind of interesting. Like, I kind of want to see that.
I'd like to see that because I'm imagining like an Errol Flynn style, like ching 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 ching, like with little butter knives.
Exactly what it is.
Interesting.
Because I remember making a mental note of that fucking noise. I mean, like, what? They're fighting with, like, butter knives, not swords.
Man, I'm looking here. I should have given you the Jungle Book Return to the Jungle. Because this is one that came out in 2013. It's not the Jungle Book 2, which was the straight to video Disney one. This is like a knockoff, but the way that the cover is designed, it looks like it says The Jungle Book 2, but it's not. It's The Jungle Book Return to the Jungle, and it's a CG movie.
Awesome.
Oh god, this one looks amazing. When Baloo gets distracted by a beehive and gets left behind, the friends find their way home after exiting the jungle after an exciting jungle adventure in this action-packed feature-length film. Oh my god.
Suck.
It looks like food fight levels of animation.
Oh.
And it also appears that Baloo has like reading glasses that he wears, like spectacles.
Huh.
I guess Baloo is an old man in this movie or something.
It's like
I
it has,
don't know why none of the animals nesting ripping and face off. I want to see the panther or the tiger go nuts, or possibly the bear. But I mean, the only thing that happens is the bear stands up and like growls and tries to scare everyone, but it's not really that frightening.
Did you just want to hug him?
The bear? No, because he would have ripped my face off.
But it's Baloo.
do
He's
they sing any songs?
No.
Oh,
wasted opportunity there.
hell yeah.
All
That would
right.
be great if it was like the little kids singing and then they, cut to like Baloo's part and it was just silence. It's just a bear for like 2 minutes.
They did it with all of the various Jungle Book songs, like King Louie, the Louis Prima song, and then they just have him like eating his own feces or picking or like grooming another monkey. Sorry, chimp. All right, let's go ahead and give you a drum roll on this thing, Ryan. What do you give the second Jungle Book, Mowgli and Baloo?
2.
That's a 2 out of 10. All right, so I take it that you're not too interested in this new Jungle Book movie.
Nope.
Nope, you're like, fuck that.
Especially not after watching this and realizing how stupid a live action movie about animals.
So, do you know anything about this? Do you know anything about this one?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
So it is, Disney is releasing it. It's directed by Jon Favreau.
Does that change your mind?
Yeah, does that change your mind on? Does that pique your interest a little bit?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. So, Bill Murray is doing the voice of Baloo. Scarlett Johansson is Kaa, the snake. I think that's the snake, right?
Yeah.
Idris Elba is Shere Khan. Lupita Nyong'o is Raksha. Christopher Walken is King Louie.
That excites me.
Interest peaked? Yeah. Gary Shandling is Iki.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know who Iki sound. I don't know what character that is, but it sounds like a bird.
That sounds like a bird.
But I don't know if that's true or not. It just sounds like a bird name. Ben Kingsley is Bagheera. What are you thinking now?
I'll check it out when it comes to video, but I'm certainly not dying to get in the movie theater and spend $10 to watch that shit.
Well, this currently has a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, with 52 reviews counted so far. There is a critics' consensus already listed on here, and I'll just read this out. As lovely to behold as it is engrossing to watch, The Jungle Book is the rare remake that actually improves upon its predecessors, all while setting a new standard for CGI. Now, I've read not one, but actually several reviews that said that this is better than the original animated film.
Wow.
I feel like that's a really tall order.
I feel like you can't compare live action and they're just not the same unless you can do the exact same thing.
I gotta say, when the first trailer came out for this, I was like, no, I'm not interested in it at all. But I don't know if they just showed different footage, or maybe the very first trailer was they needed to do some refining and tweaking on the animals, the animation. But I've seen some still images and some of the later trailers where I'm just like, holy crap. Like that, it
looks good.
Yeah, they use all CG animals in this, and they look more real than I think I've ever seen in a movie. And that has me that alone has me interested in checking this out.
That kind of interests me a little.
I mean, just the movement, like the hair, the fur on these animals, just, I think that really adds a lot. And I don't know, I'm pretty interested in this now. Whereas I totally wasn't when it was first announced.
I was interested after seeing the trailer, and at that point in time, I still didn't know who was doing the voices until I just looked now, before you listed the names.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even more excited.
Yeah.
I didn't know all these people were in it.
I'm totally sold. I just want to see Bill Murray as Baloo.
Yeah. Just give me that for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm definitely all about that, and walking as King Louie. I don't know if there's going to be music in it, though. Like, I don't know if they're going to be singing songs and stuff. I doubt it, but I bet there's going to be at least one. I bet when he first meets King Louie, there's going to be some sort of interlude.
He's going to do something. Christopher Walken always has something up his sleeve.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm actually pretty excited for it now, so I'll be checking it out this weekend. It also seems like a theater movie. It seems like one that is going to be worth it to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
Just because of the visuals. So, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I'll probably have my thoughts on the podcast this weekend. All right. So, any final thoughts? I mean, what was your take, Ryan, on the original Jungle Book? Did you like the animated one? Were you a fan of that one?
I liked it. I don't remember that much about it, but I know I liked it when I was little.
How does it rank on the Disney animation scale? Like, where does that sit among Disney animated movies?
That's probably a 7 or 8.
Okay. What like where does it sit though? Like, is it on the upper echelon of Disney animated movies, or is it kind of in the middle?
Well, I don't. There's really no older animated Disney movie that I've seen that I didn't like.
So you got them all up at the top.
Huh. They're all tied for first.
I liked Cinderella, I liked Wonderland, Jungle Book, Robin Hood. I like all of them.
What about Brother Bear?
I don't remember.
What about Lilo and Stitch? Did you like that one?
A little. Not much.
I wasn't a big fan of that one.
I like Stitch, but that's because he's cool to look at. Like, he's not a character I like.
I wasn't a big fan of that one. All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this week. Any final thoughts, Ryan, on any of these Jungle Book movies? Would you say skip the second Jungle Book?
Oh, there's a lot of different Jungle Book movies.
Yeah, there's a shitload. There's a whole. Whereas last week I had a really tough time finding a movie because there just wasn't anything. This week I had a bevy of bad Jungle Book sequels to choose from. So pick your poison with that. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet, @FilmPulseKevin, and @MyLegsDon'tWork. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
See you later.